So yesterday we did this question that determine the multiple roots of this equation. I have already given you that this equation has multiple roots. You find out those multiple roots. So I calculated that the multiple roots were I, that is iota of order 2, and minus iota of order 2. That means this equation has already 4 roots. I twice and minus I twice, but it should actually have 5 roots. So I am now asking you, find all the roots. Okay, I may change the question like this: solve this equation given that it has multiple roots. So I already know that this has 4 roots. I have to find the fifth one because it should definitely have exactly 5 roots. Okay, so let's find the fifth root. So the idea is very simple. How to find the fifth root? See here what they have said. Fx has two multiple roots, I of order 2 and minus I of order 2. So therefore what can I say? X minus I whole square into x plus I whole square is a factor of the given equation, factor of polynomial. So this polynomial, not equation. Right? So because this is a root of order 2, this is a root of order 2, that means x minus I whole square and x plus I whole square is a factor of this equation. Or you better simplify this. What is this? X minus I into x plus I. You take the square common, so x minus I into x plus I, that is x square minus I square, that is x square plus 1. So x square plus 1 whole square. So x square plus 1 whole square is a factor of call this as fx. No, that will be easy, not say. It is a factor of fx. Or open this, 8a square plus 2ab plus b square is a factor of fx. So what my point is, I have to find all the roots of the given equation. Remember that. I have to find all the roots of the given equation. I have already calculated the roots to be I of order 2 and minus I of order 2. So this will be the factor of fx, and just simplifying this factor. So I know that this term x to the power 4 plus 2x square plus 1 is a factor of the given polynomial this. So I will divide them. Okay, I will divide them. I will divide this by this. So let's divide. So let me divide it. So what was that? Just a minute. It was x to the power 4 plus 2x square plus 1. Gaurav, can you tell me what was the polynomial? I don't. What was the polynomial? Can anybody tell me? Just a minute.
X to the power 5
Okay, x to the power 5
plus 2x to the power 4
plus 2x to the power 4
plus 2x cube
plus 2x cube
plus 4x square
plus 4x square.
plus x plus 2.
Okay. So this is my thing. So let's divide how much by x, right? X. So this will be x to the power 5. This with x. Now this with x will become 2x to the 2x cube, and this with x become well x. So if I subtract them, minus minus minus, cancel. This x and x is also getting cancelled. This is also getting cancelled. This is also getting cancelled. So what I am getting? 2x to the power 4 plus 4x square plus 2, and this will exactly go by 2. So plus 2. So this will again fully cancel this, minus, and then fully cancelled, right? So what can this polynomial be written as? So therefore, this can be written as plus 2x cube plus 4x square plus x plus 2. This can be written as x plus 2 times this polynomial, right? X to the power 4 plus 2x square plus 1. So therefore, either this, if I equate this polynomial to 0, so either this equals to 0 or this equals to 0. If the second one is equal to 0, I'll get 4 roots which I have already calculated, I minus I minus I, right? So therefore, the fifth root is how much? If we will equate this to 0, that is x equals to minus 2. So all 5 roots are, so what are the 5 roots? I 2 times, minus I 2 times, and minus. So I have solved that equation which has got exactly 5 roots. But I have solved under one condition. One condition is given to us that this has multiple roots. That equation had multiple roots. Am I clear? So let me do 2 more questions from the multiple root part. So this I am taking from the exercise. So this is number 6 from the exercise SK Mappa, page number 208. So the question is this: find the values of k for which the equation x cube minus 9x square plus 24x plus k equals to 0 may have multiple roots. Full stop. What next? Also solve the equation in each case. So also, after finding the value of k, you have to solve the equation as well. Also solve the equation in each case. So this is another nice question that is given to us. Okay, that for what values of k this equation may have a multiple root or may have multiple roots. Also, you solve the equation in each case. You have to solve that equation after finding the value of k. So how will you start? The same way, assume that alpha is a multiple root. Let alpha be a multiple root. So let me give this a name and let fx be this polynomial x cube minus 9x square plus 24x plus k. So because alpha is a multiple root, therefore f of alpha is going to be 0 and f dashed alpha is also going to be 0. Like, I am not specifying the order of this multiple root. Even if its order is 3, see, minimum order will be 2. Because I am assuming that this is a multiple root. So its order is at least 2. That means if its order is 2, f of alpha will be 0 and f dash alpha will be 0. You know this. Even if its order is 3 or 4, these two are definitely going to be 0. Others may also be 0, but this is definitely going to be, these two are definitely going to be 0. Because the order of alpha is at least 2. Okay, so now let's use this 2 to solve the value of k. So f alpha is 0 and f dash alpha is 0. So let's see what happens. So f alpha is 0. What will f alpha equal to 0 give me? Alpha cube minus 9 alpha square plus 24 alpha plus k equals to 0. So this will be my f of alpha equals to 0. And what is f dashed alpha? So f dashed alpha will be 3 alpha square minus 18 alpha plus 24 equals to 0. This is some equation 1, right? This will be f dash alpha, right? You just check it. So 3 alpha square minus 18 alpha plus 24. Now you can simplify this by taking 3 common. Alpha square minus 6 alpha plus 8 equals to 0. Some equation 2. So we have done this kind of elimination in the last class. So how will you eliminate this? First of all, we'll multiply this by alpha and then subtract from this one. So this implies alpha cube. If I multiply this by alpha, so alpha cube minus 6 alpha square plus 8 alpha equals to 0. So we'll call this equation 3. We'll subtract 1 minus 3. You subtract 3 from 1. So if I am subtracting 3 from 1, alpha cube minus alpha cube is getting cancelled. This will become plus right now. So minus 9 alpha square plus 6 alpha square. So minus 3 alpha square plus 24 minus 8 plus 16 alpha plus k equals to 0. So this is my equation number 4. Now we'll eliminate alpha from 2 and 4. So eliminating alpha from 2 and 4. So what is 2? Let me write 2 again. So alpha square minus 6 alpha plus 8 equals to 0 minus 3 alpha square plus 16 alpha plus k equals to 0. Let's eliminate alpha from this 2. How will you eliminate alpha from this 2? Which method? Which method will we use to eliminate alpha from here? We'll use something called as cross multiplication method, right? So alpha square by something, alpha by something, and 1 by something, right? So if I am taking alpha square, I'll remove this and then determinant of this 4 numbers. So how much? Minus 6 into 1 is minus 6. Then minus 6k. Minus 6k and minus 16 is how much? 16 is 128, no? Yeah. Then with alpha this will be a minus and then determinant. So remove this, determinant of this will be k minus plus 24. So and this will be 16 minus 10 to minus 6 will be 18. 6 is 18. What I am getting, just cancel all the negatives. So x square by 6k plus 128 alpha by k plus 24 1 by, this will become minus 2, but I am cancelling all the negatives. This will become 2. Just check it once, because see, I have not solved it. Okay, I am solving it just now. If I have made some mistake, please tell me. So what will I get? So from the first two, what is my alpha then? So therefore alpha equals to, so one alpha is getting cancelled, alpha equals to 6k plus 128 by k plus 24, and from the last two, alpha equals to k plus 24 by 2. Okay, from the first two, alpha is this, from the last two, alpha is this. So this implies both the values of alpha must be same, that is 6k plus 128 by k plus 24 equals to k plus 24 by 2. So with this equation, if I simplify this, I will get the values of k. So let's simplify this one by one. So let's simplify this. Okay. So if I compute, what was that? So this will become k plus 24 whole square equals to 2 into 6k plus 128. How much then? A square plus 2ab plus b square, right? Plus b square. So 24 square is 576, and this will become 12k plus 256, right? So this will become a quadratic equation, k square 48k minus 12k plus 36k, right? And 576 minus 256, how much? 320. Can you solve this quadratic for me? Just do the prime factorization of 320. So this will be,
You can just use Fibonacci.
wait, method of factorization will be easier, no? I guess so. Okay, do it. You use any method, but if it's getting factorized, then that is much more easier to do, no? 160, so 2, 80, 2, 40, 2, how much? 20. Yeah, it's done though. So this is how much? 16 plus 20 is 36. This is how much? 16, and 20k plus 16k plus 320 equals to 0. K common, k plus 20 plus 16 common, k plus 20. So you know what are the values of k? So k will be either minus 20 or minus 16, right? So I have got the values of k. So for these values of k, what will I get? That the given equation will have multiple roots. The given equation will have multiple roots. Okay. Now, what they have said, also find the roots, right? Also find the roots. So when k equals to minus 20, so that means I have to find alpha first of all. When k equals to minus 20, what is alpha? Both will give you the same answer. Okay, so I'll use the easier one. So what is alpha? K plus 24 by 2. So alpha equals to k plus 24 by 2. That is how much? 24 minus 20 is 4. 4 by 2 is 2. So alpha is 2. Thus fx equals to 0 has a multiple root 2. And what is the order of this multiple root? 2. Because you see, I have assumed that f of alpha is 0 and f dash alpha is 0. So it has a multiple root 2 of order 2. But you have to find all the roots. This is just, I have calculated one root. Right? Sorry, two roots. 2, 2. But what was the degree of the equation? The degree of the equation was 3. So how many roots are possible? 3 roots are possible. So this implies x minus 2 whole square is a factor of, what was the equation? X cube minus 9x square plus 24x plus k. But what is plus k? Minus 20. So minus 20 equals to 0. I will divide them. To find the other root, I will divide. So here is my x cube minus 9x square plus 24x minus 20. I'll divide this by x minus 2 whole square, that is x square minus 4x plus 4, a minus b whole square. Let's divide very quickly. What are the results that I am going to get? First of all, how much? X. This will become x cube minus 4x square plus 4x, subtract plus subtract, cancel, 9 minus 9x square, this will become minus 5x square plus 20x, so minus 5, right? And I'll even copy this minus 20, it will get cancelled, you see. it will get cancelled completely. So minus 5x square plus 20x minus 20, this is getting cancelled. So what is the other root? The other root can be calculated from here. The other root can be calculated from here, 5. So when k equals to minus 20, roots are 2. This is a multiple root, and the last root will be like this can be written as this into this. From this I am already getting 2 roots, 2 comma 2, and the last root can be calculated from here. So what is that? 5. So I have solved the equation. The equation has the roots 2, 2 and 5 when the value of k is minus 20. You will do the same thing for k equals to minus 16. Again starting from here. Okay, but I will not do that. That is your task. So this was the question. Firstly, find the value of k, and with this value of k, you determine all the roots of the equation. If you have any doubts, please ask. So let me write the next question. Okay, that is again from the exercise. Now see here, what is the question? Prove that the equation this cannot have multiple roots. So the polynomial this time is this one, right? This is a polynomial of degree n having the coefficient. This is the first coefficient. The coefficient is 1 by n factorial, then 1 by n minus 1 factorial, and so on. 1 by 2 factorial, 1 and 1. So this is a polynomial of degree n. Okay, and I am equating this to 0. That means I am talking about an algebraic equation. So this is an algebraic equation. I have to prove that this algebraic equation cannot have multiple roots. So no root of this equation can be repeated, right? That I have to prove it. I don't have to solve this equation. I just have to prove it that this cannot have a multiple root. Okay, so the solution will be like this. First of all, my question is 0 a root of this equation? Is 0 a root of this equation? Yes or no? Yeah, definitely no. So clearly 0 is not a solution, because if I put 0 here, on the left I have 1, but on the right I have 0, so which are not equal. So clearly, I'll just write that first. It will be used later on. Clearly, 0 is not a solution to the given equation. Okay, this will be required a bit later. Okay, let me name that polynomial as fx. So let fx equals to 1 plus x square by 2 factorial, x cube by 3 factorial, and so on up to x to the power n by n factorial. So they have asked us that this cannot have multiple roots. Suppose this has multiple roots. This is how we start, using a contradiction. So let, enumerate if possible. So okay, doesn't matter. Let alpha be a multiple root of fx equals to 0. Okay, clearly alpha cannot be 0, because alpha is not a root. That means alpha cannot be a multiple root also. Okay, so clearly alpha cannot be 0. You know why. So let alpha be a multiple root of fx equals to 0. Then I have again two things as usual. F alpha is 0 and f dashed alpha is also 0. I have these things, right? I am assuming if possible, suppose alpha be a multiple root of fx equals to 0, and clearly this alpha cannot be 0. Okay? And then because it is a multiple root, so by definition of a multiple root, f alpha will be 0 and f dashed alpha will be 0. Now start doing it. What is f alpha equals to 0? So that is 1 plus alpha square by 2 factorial, alpha cube by 3 factorial. I am not writing that, dot dot dot, alpha to the power n by n factorial. This is my f of alpha equals to 0, some equation number 1. And so let's find f dashed x first of all. What is f dashed x? So you find the derivative of this function. So what is the derivative of this function? Derivative of 1 is 0. Derivative of x is 1. Derivative of x square is 2x, and this is a constant. Derivative of x cube is 3x square, dot dot dot. Derivative of x to the power n will be nx to the power n minus 1 by n factorial. You can actually simplify this derivative. You see how? 1, this is x by 1 factorial. That is simply x, right? That is simply x. Because 2 and 2 is getting cancelled, 2 factorial is 2. This is x square by, you see what is happening? This is 3 factorial, so 3 into 2 into 1, 3 is getting cancelled. This is nothing but 2 factorial in that case. Similarly, dot dot dot, this is x to the power n minus 1, and this n is getting cancelled out. I will remain with n minus 1 factorial. Did you get my point?
Yes, sir.
So f dashed alpha equals to 0 gives what? You just put alpha everywhere, right? Yeah, in place of x. So that will give me 1 plus alpha square by 2 factorial plus dot 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 plus alpha to the power n minus 1 by n minus 1 factorial equals to 0. This is some equation 2. So this is my f of alpha equals to 0, and this is my f dash alpha equals to 0. Now the things are pretty simple. You see, if I subtract 1 and 2, like if I subtract 2 from 1, 1 and 1 is getting cancelled. Alpha and alpha is getting cancelled. Alpha square by 2 factor, alpha square by 2 factor is getting cancelled. And the second last term is alpha to the power n minus 1 by n minus 1 factor, that is also getting cancelled. So all the terms are getting cancelled except the last term, right? This minus this, alpha minus alpha, alpha square by 2 factor, alpha square by 2 factor, and so on. The second last term here being alpha to the power n minus 1 by n minus 1 factor, that is also getting cancelled. Only this will remain. So I'll just write that in the next page, that 1 minus 2 will give us alpha to the power n by n factorial is nothing but it's 0. Did you get my point? How this came?
Yes, sir.
Now you see, this means alpha to the power n equals to 0, and this actually means alpha is nothing but 0, which is a contradiction, because alpha is 0 is not a root. I have clearly assumed that 0 is not a root, so alpha cannot be 0. So which is a contradiction as alpha is not equals to 0. Thus our assumption was wrong, that what we assumed, that alpha be a multiple. Thus this equation cannot have multiple roots. So we had assumed that suppose alpha be a multiple root, but due to that assumption I am getting that alpha is 0. That means my assumption was wrong. That means this equation cannot have multiple root. Okay. So this is all about multiple roots. I have discussed enough questions. I'll give you some as your homeworks. You try that out, and then today I'll start with a new topic. So this completes multiple roots. Now we'll start a new topic. Okay, so we have seen when will a multiple root exist, etc., etc. We have done theorems. Now, from now onwards, we'll only study about polynomials with real coefficients. Okay, so polynomials with real coefficients. Polynomials with real coefficients. So now onwards, we only consider polynomials having real coefficients. Though I haven't discussed any questions based on complex coefficients. Okay, but still, now we'll only study like whatever theorem previously we have done. There the coefficients can be complex as well. Like the theorem on multiples that I have done, that f of alpha will be 0, f dash alpha will be 0. That is even true for a polynomial with complex roots, sorry, complex coefficients. Okay, but now onwards, whatever theorem I'll be doing, that will be true only for polynomials with real coefficients. Okay, so you cannot apply these theorems when the coefficients of the polynomial are complex numbers. So now onwards you remember, whatever theorem that I will be doing, that will hold only for polynomials with real coefficients. And I hope you know the meaning of polynomials with real coefficient. That means all of its coefficients are real numbers. It should not be a complex number. So this is the first theorem that I will do in this case. I'll just state the theorem today and prove the theorem in the next class. So polynomials with real coefficients. So the first theorem will do that will only hold for polynomials with real coefficients, not for complex coefficients. So let me state the theorem first of all. So if an equation, definitely algebraic equation, if an equation with real coefficients, so this is very important, with real coefficient, this theorem is only true for polynomials with real coefficients. So if an equation with real coefficients has a complex root, definitely if the roots are real, it may also have complex root. It is not necessary that a real coefficient 1 will always have a real root. Like you consider the equation x square plus 1. This is a polynomial having the coefficients 1, 0, 1, which is definitely real coefficients. But its roots are minus I and I, which are complex roots, definitely. So that they are saying, if an equation with real coefficients has a complex root alpha plus I beta, then it has also the conjugate complex root, the conjugate complex root alpha minus I beta. Okay, we can also state the theorem in other words, or this theorem can also be stated this way, or in an equation with real coefficients, imaginary roots occur in conjugate pairs. So this is the theorem. I'll prove this theorem in the next class, but let me just explain the theorem to you. So what have they said? If an equation with real coefficient has a complex root alpha plus I beta, so you have a polynomial whose coefficients are real numbers. Okay, now suppose that equation has some complex root alpha plus I beta, suppose 2 plus 3i, it is the root 2 plus 3i, then this theorem will guarantee you that if 2 plus 3i is a root of that equation, then 2 minus 3i is definitely going to be the root of that equation as well. Okay, so in other words, the complex roots or the imaginary roots occur in conjugate pairs. If alpha plus I beta is the root, so is alpha minus I beta. Its conjugate will definitely be its root. So if I tell you solve this equation given that 1 plus I is its root. So keep in mind, when 1 plus I is the root, then 1 minus I is also going to be the root. This is what is guaranteed by this theorem. Okay, this theorem guarantees you this fact. Whenever, so just one complex root cannot be there in an equation. There should be at least, or they always occur in pair, even number of complex roots. So when alpha plus I beta is the root, so is alpha minus I beta. If some another root is there, x plus iy, then x minus iy will be root. So they will always occur in pair. Only one complex root cannot be there. 3 complex roots cannot be there. They always occur in pair. Did you get the statement of this theorem?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll not start with the proof today. I'll not be able to complete it. So rather I'll be proving the theorem in the next class. So that's all for today. If you want to ask anything, please do.